What's going on, beautiful people? Daniel Magyar in the building. And today we're going to go through a story from our fan. And she can't leave her husband. So I didn't go through the whole story. I'm not really sure what's going on in there. But I know that there is some financial pressure. She doesn't have enough money, etc. So we'll dig deep into the details and we'll see where the problem is. But before I start, of course, you can find my services on dmprotrainer.com. You can book a single consultation or you can join my coaching program, 1, 3, and a 6 month. That is focused on the finances, fitness, and human relationships. And also, if you guys are looking for beef that's really high quality, American raised, American finished, produced in Utah and Texas, you can find it on dmbeef.com. You will find the links in the subscription. Also, if you're looking for my book, Weight Loss Without Plateau, where I describe pretty much the entire metabolism of human body and my calorie cycling methods for weight loss, you can find it on Amazon. Again, it's Weight Loss Without Plateau. So, by that being said, let's get into today's email. And the email says, I never imagined that at 36 years old, after 11 years of marriage and 2 small children, I would spend most evenings sitting alone at the edge of my own bed, wondering where my husband is and why I have become invisible to him. When I married Steve, I thought I was stepping into a safe life. Stability, a partner, a future. Well, at that time, I'm sure it was real. I mean, usually when people tell you I love you and I'm going to be here for you forever, they mean it in that moment. What people don't realize is that emotions change. That's why you constantly got to be ready to walk alone, even as a woman. Stoic principle. You can't build a foundation of your life based on trust and emotions. It just doesn't work like that. That's amateur way of looking at life. Now, the next level is to be always prepared. So when people tell you I love you and I will be always here forever, they mean it in that moment, but they cannot predict their feelings 15 years from there. I never thought I would spend so much time analyzing the sound of his footsteps, the tone of his voice, or the way he casually turns his phone face down every time he gets a message. I certainly never imagined I would feel like a stranger in my own home. Our story did not start this way. When we met, Steve was charming in a quiet, confident sort of way. I found comfort in that. He seemed like the type of a man who would always be there, who would know how to support a family. And for a while, he was exactly that. The first few years were filled with moments I thought I would treasure forever. Late night talks, gentle mornings, small plans for the future. We were excited about building a life together. Then came the children. First Emma, then 2 years later, Noah. I thought motherhood would solidify everything between us, make our family complete. So, yes and no. I mean, the timing was good. You guys made children when everything was perfect. But where people go wrong, usually, is when the relationship is absolute chaos and they think that children will solidify it, or they're not married yet and they think that when they get married, somehow the government paper is going to fix everything and they're going to become solidified. No, it's not how it works, okay? So if the marriage is absolute chaos and you guys are not compatible, you never marry that person, ever. Or you don't get her pregnant, or you don't get pregnant by that guy. In your case here, you guys were in harmony. So that's a perfect space to have children, okay? I expected Steve to become more present, more affectionate, more fatherly. Instead, he drifted. At first, it was subtle. Longer word days, a distracted gaze, a distant tone when he spoke. But it grew piece by piece until it became the fabric of our daily life. And I, who once felt seen and appreciated, now feel like a ghost haunting the hallways of this house. Think about it. Why do you think man is going to behave like this? All of a sudden, out of nowhere, he became so distant. When did he become so distant? When the children were born. So most likely what happened, he never genuinely wanted to have children. He's not a father type figure. He didn't want to live the children lifestyle or father's lifestyle, but he somehow convinced himself it's the right thing to do because the society says so. And probably his wife was putting pressure on him. And he just agreed. And he locked himself into a reality that he doesn't really enjoy. And he's running away from it. Most mornings begin the same way. I wake up alone in the bed, though he technically sleeps next to me. I say technically because he might as well be sleeping in another world. He turns to the other side, his back facing me, his breathing steady but far away. I used to reach towards him, hoping the smallest touch, my hand resting lightly on his shoulder, would reconnect us. But each time I tried, he stiffened and shifted away as if the mattress had simply become uncomfortable. Ooh, that's cold. Man, the guy is pretty cold. Yeah, he definitely doesn't want to be there. Whatever is going on in his head, he doesn't want to be there. So far it looks like he wasn't really built for a father's lifestyle, and he's regretting it. Eventually, I stopped trying. The kids are too small to understand why their father barely acknowledges them. They clinch to me asking why daddy works so much, why he doesn't come to their school activities, why he doesn't play with him like other fathers do. I do not know how to answer. I try to protect them from the truth, but the truth is, I don't know the reason myself. Steve provides financially, yes. That is the one thing he reminds me of when I finally gather the courage to question his absence. I'm doing this for us, for the kids. Bullshit. No, he's not doing this for you. He's not doing this for the kids. He is just providing because he's a provider. He makes money. But the reason why he's so distant, why he doesn't talk to his kids, is not for the benefit of his kids. It doesn't make sense, brother. Like, take that shit away. Okay? So, yeah, he's becoming distant because the lifestyle that you guys are living, he didn't want. And he was just too afraid to say it out loud. And he just crumbled under pressure and he agreed to family, and now here's the result. You have everything you need, he says. But what he means is I have everything material I need. What he does not understand or refuses to understand is that I need a partner. I need support. I need someone who sees me as more than the woman who cooks, cleans, changes diapers, and keeps the household running. So we're getting into a basic concept here. A woman is not heard and understood. A woman wants to feel heard and understood, which means that she loves to talk about her feelings and her experiences and everything she went through the day. She wants to talk to her husband all the time. A loving woman constantly seeks attention from her man. A woman is like a weather. She always changes the emotions. A man is a stable mountain. He is in the center of his emotions. And a woman wants to organize her chaos with her mountain. So she just wants to talk, and she's not looking for advice. She's not looking for a solution. A man is just listening to her, simply. You just listen to her, you don't offer her any unwanted advice. You just maintain eye contact, you take up a lot of space, look in her eyes, listen to her. After about 25 minutes, she's gonna say, oh my God, I'm so happy we talked about it, even though you were quiet the whole time. That's when she feels heard and understood, okay? Now her husband is not a stable mountain for her. I have not worked since Emma was born. It wasn't supposed to be a permanent thing. We agreed that I would stay home for the early years. Then when the kids started school, I would return to part-time work, maybe freelance projects. But those conversations stopped happening. Each time I bring it up, he tells me it's unnecessary, that childcare would cost too much, that my place is with the kids. He says it gently, with a smile that feels dismissive, as if I am a child asking for something silly. Financial dependence is not something you feel at first. It creeps in slowly, becoming a net wrapped around your ankles. At first soft, then tight, then unbreakable. I did notice the moment I became fully reliant on him. But now, 11 years into this marriage, I know painfully well that I cannot leave. Not without help, not without a plan, not without money. That's the shitty situation. That's why I always try to tell women, you can't be fully dependent on a man. Yes, have him provide, have him give you money, have him pay for the stuff, but you gotta have your separate bank account. And he has to be okay with it. No problem. Why? Like, men shouldn't really care what a woman does with the money. It doesn't matter. Like you as a man, you take care of your own empire. Okay? If you need a payment for your phone bill from a wife, you're broke. You gotta make more money. Like you don't have an empire. At first, you always take care of your empire. And then you invite a woman into this empire, and then you start reproducing, okay, children, etc. Family. So a man shouldn't really care what a woman does with the money. That doesn't mean you're gonna buy her Gucci bags or Louis Vuitton. No, not at all. No Gucci, nothing. But you just pay for the house that is yours legally, signed with the prenup, postnup. You own your stuff, and she is part of it. And if she leaves or decides to leave, she's leaving with whatever she has. It's up to her, you know. That is in the money and a trust don't go along at all. So that's why you separate these two things, emotions from the money and foundation of life. So now when a woman has an absolute freedom with what she can do with the money, she should be just saving up, investing, you know, doing whatever she can so she doesn't end up in this situation. That's really the best case scenario. A man owns the empire. The empire is untouchable. It's protected through prenups and postnups and all the agreements. And of course, in the agreements, you both put what you want, so it works for both of you. If you guys don't agree, don't get the state involved. That simple. Don't get married. Don't involve the state into disagreement. It doesn't make sense. You come to an agreement, you put it on paper, and then you never talk about it again. It's simple. It's just set the dynamics. So then a woman can easily save up her money or do whatever she wants just so she doesn't get stuck in this situation. My days are predictable, repetitive, and draining. I wait the children, prepare for breakfast, pack lunches, clean the kitchen, do laundry, tidy up toys, keep up with school forms, appointments, meals. Steve breezes in and out, barely noticing anything. Sometimes he leaves without even saying goodbye. Sometimes he forgets to kiss the kids goodnight. Sometimes he barely acknowledges their drawings or small victories. I try not to cry in front of them, but they have started asking me why I look so sad. Yeah, this guy is definitely not down for family life. Yep, he just got you pregnant, but man, he's regretting it bad. He's given all the signs of a guy who regrets having children. I know plenty of men like that. They got into this family life because the society tells you to. Like you're supposed to. You're not really supposed to argue it. You just make children and be quiet. It's just how it works. Or you were pressuring him to have children. Like, I want to have kids within 2 years, and your man was like, all right, yeah, okay, let's do this. And when children are already alive, and when there's nothing but pure reality, he behaves like this, you know? So he's given all the signs that he's not designed for a family life at all. The part that hurts the most is not the work. Motherhood is exhausting, yes, but it is meaningful. What breaks me is feeling like I am raising these children alone while still calling myself married. And then there are the signs. The kind of a woman notices when even she tries not to. The late nights at the office, the sudden need to work on weekends, the new password on his phone, the quiet message alerts quickly swiped away when I walk by. So there's a sudden change of behavior, and you already know, if you're watching my channel, what sudden change of behavior means. That's cheating, right there. Sudden change of behavior, and when your partner's attention goes outside of the house, that's cheating right there. Now with him, the new password line on his phone, that's a sign of cheating. Quiet message alerts, yeah, why do you quiet your phone? And then he quickly swipes away notifications when you walk by. Sudden need to work on weekends. In this case, if he's running away from family life, I could easily see him sit somewhere at the bar just drinking beer and, drowning in alcohol from the reality he's created, from life that he hates. But that would be before the phone stuff. Phone stuff, there's a communication you're not supposed to see. Well, who do you think it's going to be? His manager from work? Or what, some special money offer? No, hell no. It's something you're not supposed to see as the spouse. And that's for sure the other woman, right? So that's the sign of him having another chick on his side. Well, we'll see how this goes. The smell of unfamiliar perfume on his jacket once, he claimed it was from a hug with a coworker at the celebration. Right. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? So, a perfume on a man, yep, he's definitely intimate with another woman. You gotta come body to body with a woman. Yeah, he just hurt her. How many times in 11 years he smelled like a woman's perfume? None. Now, all of a sudden, he has all these changes in behavior, and he starts smelling like a woman's perfume. What does that mean? You see what I mean? You just put one plus one together, and that's it. The increased interest in his appearance lately, new shirts, new cologne, haircuts every 2 weeks instead of every 2 months, the way he avoids looking at me when I ask simple questions like, "How's your day?" I did not have a proof, I know that. I also know that without evidence, without certainty, I have no grounds to stand on. But intuition is its own kind of evidence. Women feel it in their own bones. Yeah, and most people don't listen to their intuition because it's not a physical proof. And brain is tricky because brain oftentimes, especially in this intense situation where your entire life revolves around this situation, the brain tends to ignore the intuition because intuition is the feeling, it's not a physical proof. Sometimes I even seen people where you literally give them proof. A video of her husband kissing another woman. She's looking at the video. She's like, "No, that's not him." "Girl, that's him right there in the video." She's like, no, it can't be. That's not him. So the brain refuses the reality as it is because it means the collapse of her reality. Now her reality collapses, so her brain starts refusing what it sees. That's how protective the brain can be. So ignoring your intuition is super simple for the brain because it's just a feeling. It's not even a physical proof. But I literally saw people deny physical evidence in front of me. Like, "Chick, that's your husband right here." "No, there's no way. That's not my guy." "Whatever. Sure. Okay. Bye." You see what I mean? So you need a physical proof to really be convinced. That's the amateur level. The pro level is the science. That's all you need. The signs are right there. And something inside me has been screaming for months. He is no longer yours. Well, you don't feel it for no reason. Some nights after the kids fall asleep, I lie awake imagining what leaving him would look like. I picture packing bags quietly, loading them in the car, driving to my sister's house or some shelter or maybe just anywhere that is not here. But I never get far into fantasy because reality always intrudes. Where would I get the money? How would I support the kids? How would I afford rent, food, healthcare, clothing, bills? The numbers do not add up, no matter how hard I try to make them. And that's why I'm telling you. You don't enter a marriage without your own money. You always should have money and a security on a side. And your husband should be okay with it. Not say a word about it. Not say a word. If you got 100K on the side, it's just yours, whatever. Exactly for scenarios like this. Because you can't build a foundation of life based on emotions. Doesn't work like that. Amateurs do that. Every single divorced person who's watching this right now is just not in their head. Exactly. I know. You don't really need many mistakes in life to learn from. And if you do, if you just keep repeating the same mistakes, then that's up to you. Steve keeps full control of our business. I have a bank card, but it is connected to his account, and every purchase I make, he sees instantly. He questions me if I buy something unnecessary. Even small things. Do you really need that? You should be more responsible. We have to plan for the future. The irony is that he speaks of our future like he is invested in it, while I feel like he is building a life separate from ours. I am trapped in a marriage that requires my silence to survive. Oh, and that's painful. That's the painful stuff that I always try to tell women, don't get yourself in this position. If I push too hard, he withdraws further. If I question too much, he becomes cold and vague. Yeah, the thing is, in these cases, you mirror your partner's behavior. So if he's distant, you're distant too. Don't pursue. Like, that's a law of nature. If you chase, things run. Simple. Predator chases a prey. Prey naturally runs. As a prey stops running, predator will be confused. He's not going to understand. If a predator chases you, run straight against him. He's not going to understand. It's just against the nature, against the instinct. So he's instinctively doing the same thing. If you're chasing him, he gets further. So you mirror his behavior. He gets further, you get further. That's simple. The quickest way to get somebody's attention is to remove yours, okay? If I question too much, he becomes too cold. If I express feeling neglected, he tells me I'm being dramatic or emotional or overly sensitive. One particular night stands out in my memory. It was raining heavily, and the kids were finally asleep. Steve texted me around 7 saying he had to stay late for a client meeting. I believed him, at least I tried to. But by 10, when the house had grown still and the storm outside intensified, I felt that familiar anxiety building in my chest. I called him, no answer. I called again, straight to voicemail. I waited. At midnight, he came home smelling faintly of wine, freshly showered, his shirt wrinkled, as though he had changed clothes in a hurry. Why didn't you answer your phone? I asked. It died, he said dismissively, walking past me. Long day, I'm exhausted. He did not look at me, didn't touch me, did not offer a hug or even a half-hearted apology. He simply moved around me as if I were nothing more than a piece of furniture in his way. That night, after he fell asleep, I sat in the bathroom with the door closed, covering my mouth so the children wouldn't hear me cry. Oh, lady. That's a tough one. As a woman, you always need money. Always, just so you end up like this. I stared at my reflection, pale, tired, eyes swollen, and thought, this cannot be my life. This cannot be the woman I dreamed of becoming. I used to have ambitions. I used to have dreams, ideas, and goals. Yeah, the problem is you gave it away for the idea of the family. And you built your reality based on emotions, on your husband's emotions. And look what happened. Exactly what I keep saying. His emotions changed. When he promised you the life together, and we're going to be together forever, he meant it. 11 years ago. That's different. He doesn't feel the same anymore. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can't build the foundation of your life on your partner. You had dreams here. You were never supposed to go away from these dreams. Ever. Like that was supposed to be the core of your life. And your husband was just supposed to be the guy who's living next to you while you're achieving your goals and dreams. But somewhere between diapers and dinners and Steve's indifference, those dreams dissolved. I want to leave him. I have wanted to for nearly a year, but I can't. Not yet. The kids rely on me, and I have nowhere to go. No money. No job. No skills updated since before motherhood swallowed my time. I am terrified of starting over, of failing, of not being able to give the children the stability they deserve. I mean, really, the only thing that's here for you is to call your parents. What's going on, guys? I see you in the comments. Comment on the story. Everything that you guys notice, just comment on the story. We'll go through your comments as well after I finish reading. But really, the only thing that you can do here in the story is to call your parents. You know, a grown woman, no money, nowhere to go. You can't stay miserable like this. Like, you can only take so much pain. Call your mom. Sometimes I try to talk to Steve to express how I feel. Yeah, that's not going to work. That's not going to work at all. I rehearse the words in my head, plan my tone so I do not sound accusatory. But every time I try, he shuts the conversation down. You always assume the worst, he says. You're making the problems where there are none. You don't understand the pressure I'm under. I'm tired. Can we not do this right now? After enough dismissals, you stop trying. You swallow your pain and learn to exist quietly because no one is listening anyway. I envy women who say their husbands are their best friends. I envy couples who laugh together, who make decisions together, who share their burdens. I envy mothers who see their partners kneel down and play with their children, who watch them read bedtime stories, who feel like they're part of the team. I do not have a team. I have 2 children and a man who lives in the same house, but whose heart has relocated elsewhere. Despite everything, I still try. I cook meals he likes, I iron his shirts, I keep the house clean. I attend school events alone. I create a warm environment, hoping it will draw him back. Nothing's going to draw him back. Nothing. You can just keep trying, like keep doing your part, because what's fair is you keep doing your part, taking care of the children, taking care of him because he pays. So the transaction is still there. He's a provider, you're a household taker, Okay, you take care of the house. Now that dynamic has to stay, because if you just stop doing your part, he can just stop paying. Make sense? But the emotions, that's dead. Like, by you trying harder, it's not going to make him come back. Men don't operate like this. You try harder, he's going to see you weaker. He certainly has a chick on his side, okay? And he regrets the family life that he has. So by you trying harder is just going to make it worse. What you need to show is emotional strength and take everything away from him. That's what man is going to respond to emotionally. He needs to feel pain. Pain by his wife leaving with the children. Now, the question is it going to be a pain or a relief for your guy? Because your guy doesn't look like he enjoys family life at all. At all. So he might have a little glimpses of sadness when you guys leave. When he comes home from work and it's all quiet, no children laughing, screaming, running, no chaos of the household, no toys on the ground, none of that. He might have some weak moments here and there, but there's a really high possibility that your man specifically will feel a relief because he didn't want it in the first place. You see what I mean? So this is just a bad choice of a partner. This is just a wrong decision for marrying this guy. Just he shows all the signs that he's not interested in family life. But nothing changes. His distance has solidified into a wall I cannot climb. The loneliness is the hardest part. Not the physical isolation, but the emotional vacuum. Being next to someone who does not see you is like starving while sitting beside a full plate, untouched, unreachable. At night, I sometimes lie awake imagining what a different life would be like. A small apartment just for me and the kids, a job, even a modest one. The ability to make decisions without needing approval, freedom, peace, a life where I am not constantly questioning my growth. Yeah, well, you're not growing anywhere in this environment. But the fantasy always hits the same barrier. Money. I know. Without financial independence, divorce feels like a luxury I cannot afford. I hate that thought. It's like being in jail. I had that the practicalities of survival hold more weight than my emotional well-being. But it is the reality for many women like me, mothers who stayed home, trusted their husbands, and now find themselves trapped in gilded cages. Yeah, I keep saying that. I mean, you'll see that in every single one of my live streams. You don't build the foundation of your life based on emotions. I'll be here forever. Great. Yeah, sure. That's nice. But you still have your savings account, okay? You didn't just trust humans. It doesn't work like that. Some days are better. There are moments of calm when the kids make me laugh, when I feel strong enough to believe things will change. Maybe I will find a job. Maybe I will save enough. Maybe I will quietly build a plan step by step. But even on the good days, there is a heaviness beneath the surface. You gotta tell your mom and your dad. I know something is wrong in my marriage. My heart knows, my intuition knows. The silence, the distance, the secrecy, they are all in pieces of truth that I cannot confront directly. But for now, I keep going. For the children, for myself, even if it does not feel like it. I hold on to the hope that one day I will find the courage, the resources, the opportunity to break free. That one day I will live a life where I am not invisible, not neglected, not dependent. It's not going to be with this guy unless he feels emotional pain. So really the only way to change a man is to make him feel pain. And the only way you can make him feel pain, maybe, is taking your attention and presence and the children's presence away. That's really the only thing you can do. And that's going to be the pain. And he's going to realize what he lost. But at the same time, the amount of indifference he's showing to family life, it might be sad here and there, like 20%, but 80% is going to be relief. It's like, geez, I never wanted this in the first place. So now we're getting into a conversation where men and women look at each other, in this case, you at him, how could you do this to me? Yeah, right. So you never want to have conversations with people, how could you do this to me? You don't position people where you're gonna have how could you do this to me conversations. Make sense? You strategically place people in your life. You don't blindly just believe. Not even your spouse. Just belief based on love is just an emotion which is gonna change eventually. Always gotta have a secret plan, my friend. Not even secret, like, you know, my wife has her own money and I never need it, ever. If she bought 20 properties, I'll sign the papers myself. I'm gonna call my lawyer to say that the properties that she bought are separate from marriage. I don't wanna have nothing to do with it. You're clever, you can make money, you're successful, good for you, lady. I don't wanna have a single penny from that. Because I got my own imperium. And if you're better than me, then I got a competition to deal with, you know? But there's no way that any woman, or I could be with a woman who's better than me financially. I always got to win. So pretty much that's the dynamic. Made sense? Like, your partner's money, it's just her money, whatever. Like, as a man, you should never need woman's money. I am not ready yet, but I am not defeated. There is a flame inside me, small but steady, reminding me that I deserve more than quiet suffering. Then my children deserve more than watching their mother withered. That one day, the life I dreamed about might become real. Until that day comes, I move forward one difficult step at a time, waiting, planning, surviving, and quietly preparing for the moment where I can finally say that's enough. And that's the problem. You're not in a position where you can stand up for yourself because of the money. You know? So again, if people tell you, oh, money is not that important, yeah, right. Until it's all that matters. You see what I mean? It can get you from a lot of stuff. And, you know, our lady here from the email has the unfortunate situation where she's fully dependent on a guy who's just not into family. I can tell you, this guy did not want to have kids. Right there from the email. If I talked to him, and if he would open up to me, he would have said exactly the same thing. You know, I spoke to men about these things a lot, and they tell me things that they don't tell their wives. And many men, even those who look like they are really into family life, they're not. They're just doing it because they have to. You know, they tell me that because there's nothing to lose. They don't want to break their wife's heart by saying that. So to their wife, they're going to be like, yeah, you know, I love this life. But deep inside, they really don't. So your guy is absolutely one of them. Now, then, of course, you have men who just love family life and they live for their children. You get a little bit of both sides, right? How are you today? Good, my friend. Recording all day. Streaming in 2 different languages every single day. Recording reels, doing consultations with my clients. As soon as I gotta pack up some products and go to the post office and ship it over to my clients. Taking care of the business. I have a business trip to Europe coming up next month for about a week. I got a couple of company transfers, and I have to redistribute the company's net worths and things like that, which I didn't expect that I will have to take care of, but, you know, life is unpredictable, and this is what happens. So in February, I have to fly over to Europe and take care of some business stuff. Other than that, life is good, you know. Life is really good when you don't feel nothing. Just humor, having fun, that's it. You know, come into the kitchen, made fun of a cup of coffee with my wife. Just feel light and free, maintain eye contact, joke around, that's it. You know, make a lot of money, have plenty of sex. That's just pretty much how it is. And don't get emotional about everything. That's where you're really going to find happiness, the center of your emotions. Become a little more cold, a little more ruthless, a little bit more careless. You know, a little bit more indifferent to things. That's what's going to really bring you happiness. Hi, Daniel. Hey, Rice. What's going on, brother? Welcome to my live stream. All right, we don't really have comments here to go through today. This was today's story. And if you need my help, go to dmprotrainer.com. You can book a consultation there, join my program, and hit like and subscribe on my video, so this information can spread into the society.